Joe, tell us about new look, new image, new logo, new team.
Yeah, look,
Things look for this year.
it's very exciting. I think we're building some really strong foundations. We're working very hard. It's been a great pre-season, and we've got some exciting times ahead. So all these things are coming together nicely. I said early into my time as the coach of Western Australia that I thought it was like bringing a dysfunctional family back together, and I'm sensing that that's happening. We're getting a great sponsor. We've got a new brand. We've got some of the ex-players coming in as mentor coaches. So it's been a really exciting time.
You love the history. You also love the old baggy gold. There's a big change now back to the baggy black. What do you make of that? And do you think, I know that you're a big fan of what Steve Waugh used to say in terms of everyone wearing the same cap going out and what it meant for the team and all that sort of stuff. Does it actually have any bearing at all on how you'll go?
Oh, look, when I first heard of the change, I love the new logo. I think the new symbol, going back to the heritage and the tradition's fantastic. Initially, it took a little bit to get my head around going from the baggy gold, if you like, because that's what I certainly started playing with. But then when you go back and you look at the history of West Australian cricket, I think it's another exciting time. It seems to me there's a lot happening at the WACA at the moment, and it's a time of change. And we'll still respect, whether it's a black or a gold cap. I think it's hopefully just bringing back into how important that value of respecting the past is.
Before the Warriors get underway, the Scorchers are just around the corner, but I believe there's a bit of bad news in terms of on the injury front. What can you tell us there?
Yeah, Mitch Marsh is out of the Champions League, which is a real blow. It's very disappointing. He's had another hamstring injury, this time on the other side from last year. So that's very disappointing. He's obviously come back very hungry after being left out of the Australian side for this series. So he was hungry and raring to go. Unfortunately, it's one of the things that happen in sport, and we have to deal with it and give someone else an opportunity.
He's had such a shocking run, and I know it's a different hamstring this time, but he's just had such an awful run. Did your heart go out to him, particularly just on the verge of what is such a big tournament?
Yeah, it does, most definitely. But he's still only very young. He's 22 years old, and in cricket terms, that's still young. So he was meticulous in his preparation to get back last time, and he reaped the rewards for that preparation. And the rehabilitation. So hopefully he'll keep learning really strong lessons, and he'll have a bright summer when he gets over this one. Well, he heard in the Australian A tour, and he got through. He kept playing, and he came back, and we were doing a running session, and just went. And I knew straight away it was that sort of the coach's nightmare when you see it. He was running a 100-metre run through, and that just went, and I just knew straight away. So but we've had all the tests, and it shows that it's probably a reasonably long layoff.
So the last one you did on the other side required surgery. Is this one that bad?
Now this one won't require surgery, but it's going to take probably a 8 to 10 week injury. Yeah, he is. His blood tests, people were worried about his blood results, but because he came back a week early. But I just think for him it was it's been a massive few months for him at 19 years old to go to England, and then to first have a great season last season, to be picked in the Australian side, then to make his test debut, and then to be omitted. It's been a really hectic time. It's much psychologically than physically. But his blood tests are all fine. You see him now, he's back, he's got a smile on his face, he loves playing cricket, he loves being around the squad, so he'll start training again today, and hopefully everything will be good. Yeah, look, I had a great talk to him yesterday. He just got back from Melbourne yesterday, but he's a brilliant kid. I've said it since day one. He not only is such a natural athlete, natural cricketer, but he's so laid back. You saw the way he played his first test match. You saw the way he spoke this morning. He's just having fun, and he's just a really good guy. He's a smart guy, so he'll work things out as well. So, we'll keep an eye on him, and we'll hopefully, with all the experience we have around us, help him get through this period of his life. But he'll be better for it. It's a tough time in the sense that he was left out, but he'll be better for this experience.
No North and no Gibbs for the Scorchers. What's the thinking there?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, we've got to keep an eye to the future. I think. And two, we just felt with the balance of our side, they weren't the best two guys to be in there.
What are the goals for this one?
Well, truthfully, it's going to be a really tough tournament for us. We're going to India, where traditionally it's a very, very hard place for any touring teams to play, except Australia. One thing that we will have is that we'll have some young guys with lots of enthusiasm, and one advantage, I think, our professional advantage will be that we're quite a united team. Some of the IPL teams come and go, and they've got people coming in and out. They'll have some more experience and some more marquee players, but we'll have a really strong team. So you never know. We're going to have a red hot dip at it, but I understand from day one it's going to be a challenging series. We're playing some of the best 2020 teams in the world. It'll be a tough series, but we'll have a crack at it and do it with a smile on our face and work hard and have lots of good body language and energy, and you never know what could happen.
Justin, new management and a few of the blokes that were there last time aren't there this time, but is there a feeling amongst the team to try and make up for what was a pretty disappointing Champions Trophy last time, both on and off the field?
Yeah, maybe to a degree, but I've been asked that question a number of times. To me, what happened last year is totally irrelevant. I mean, that happened nearly 12 months ago now. We have got a different group of people, and we move forward. We'll learn our lessons from all these things. We learn lessons from all mistakes. There was some really good stuff that happened in South Africa too last year, so we'll learn some lessons from that. We'll take the experience from that and hopefully do it better this time.
Just on the Healthway sponsorship, we know this group's had its issues with big nights, I suppose, in the past. Is there more pressure or more incentive to not have that happen again now with the sponsorship?
Oh no. I think there was from I've said since my very first press conference that we have to clean up our act. I mean, the perception of West Australian cricket's been poor. What this provides is a great challenge and a great platform for us to keep going forward from where we've been for the last 10 months or so. So it's an exciting sponsorship. It is a challenging one though. Remember, we're dealing with young men, and young men like to have a beer or do what they do. So we've got to. I've also said that we're going to produce great cricketers but better people, and that's going to be another part of this sponsorship. And whether we had the sponsorship or not, that's what our motto going forward will be.
It's always been a tradition to have a beer in the change rooms after a win. Does that change now with this partnership coming on?
No, not necessarily. I think one of our other values is to celebrate success. Some of my greatest memories of cricket are being with my teammates in the change room and having a couple of beers and singing some songs and singing the team song and talking some rubbish. That's the Australian way as I know it. You have a hard day's work, and then you give a bloke a slap on the back, and you might have a cold beer together and a laugh and have a sing along. That's what all part of not just in sport but being an Aussie is all about. So we still understand that, we still respect that, and I'm sure that won't change.
Justin, you mentioned Ryan Duffield. Who are some of the other players that you've been impressed with, or the team ethos that you've been impressed with?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I think those two guys, Ryan Duffield and Michael Beer, I think John Rogers and Marcus Harris, the way they've gone about this, Hilton Cartwright who will replace Mitchell Marsh now of the Champions League. Just good athletes, and what you see, I this morning I didn't even talk about the cricket side of things. They've been working hard on their fitness, but they've probably hit more balls and taken more catches and thrown more balls than they have in their certainly in any pre-season they've done before. So they're all been fantastic. It's really exciting, and we've got some brilliant young kids coming through that have been in England. Like I say, I can't tell you what's going to happen with the results, but I know we've got some good kids and very dedicated and focused kids there, so that's exciting.
Just in terms of an Ashes wash-up, was it as bad as the 3-0 scoreline suggested, or is that too simplistic to look at that?
Oh, well, it is what it is. It was 3-0. It was disappointing that Australia got close at times, but the really good teams, they win those crunch moments and they get over the line and win the game. So, Australia will take some positives out of it, I'm sure. But it is. I mean, if you lose 3-0 to England, it's going to hurt. I remember 2005 losing 2-1. That really hurt. To lose 3-0, I'm sure the boys are hurting, and they're going to have to work very, very hard to make amends this summer.
What in particular do they need to do to turn it around for the summer?
I could say a really dumb answer there, like they could get more wickets and make more runs, but In my view, what they have to do is get back to, with their selection policy, they have to get back to some continuity. I think even in that last series, we had 5 different teams, 5 different batting orders. And that's the sort of thing that England used to do, and we used to laugh at them when we used to beat them all the time. So I'd like to see us get a solid group of people together, and maybe for 2 or 3 or 4 test matches, have the same team. Back the guys in they think that'll will help win the Ashes back, and go from there.
Was there a particular test where you thought they got the batting order right, that you'd like the mix of guys in there in the lineup?
I really liked the first test.
Yeah.
I thought in the first test, with Shane Watson and Chris Rogers, Ed Cowan and Michael Clarke, we had 4 very senior players at the top of the order, seasoned campaigners in a sense, and then you had a couple of young kids coming in with Brad Haddon at number 7, I guess the elder statesman of the side. So I really liked that, and that's nothing against David Warner or Usman Khawaja or any other players, but that seemed to me a really well balanced side. So, but Australian selectors have to come up with that. Whatever it is, I just hope they pick a team and they stick with the team.
So Cowan's fallen so out of favour, it seems. Would you like to see him back in there? Do you think he's the most reliable and got the best technique?
Yeah, I think I like Ed Cowan because in the series before he faced more balls than anyone else in India, and a 4-0 losing tour. I think he faced more balls than any player in the series. He works it out. He's been a good player in tough conditions at Bellerive Oval. Wasn't that long ago he got his first Test 100, so he shows he can play. And he's a really good, steady person around the group. So, I think he's a chance. But like I say, whoever it is, I just hope they stick with one formula.